I've always been fascinated with this part because I had a feeling that there were optimal exercises based on our hormone levels, and that we shouldn't, push ourselves on certain days if we're menstruating. And then there are other times where you feel great and you should push yourself then. Women are just unique in that way. So we're going to go more into women's health and talk about the different phases of the cycle and the different optimal exercises that you can do during each phase. So I'm going to talk about the optimal exercises that you can do during each month. There's not, a ton of research on this yet. There's preliminary studies from what I've seen in terms of strength and conditioning in each phase of the cycle. And obviously, there's a lot of variance, which is probably the reason. But, you can try these out. And I think the best thing is to listen to your body to see how you feel. So we'll talk about the menstrual phase. So this is when you will have your period. You can guess that this really depends on how you feel and your premenstrual syndrome or your symptoms that you have at the time. Some low intense exercise can be good to help with the cramping. So maybe low aerobic exercises, can be just walking, some cycling. This can all help even reduce your PMS symptoms, at least get you moving a little bit. Some foods that you can incorporate during the menstrual period is eating more iron-enriched foods. This makes sense because you're losing blood at this time. Green plant foods, red meat, again, to restore the iron. And honestly, like I said, liver would be best. Having some sort of liver organ meat consumption during this time has a lot of iron, a lot of the vitamin and minerals that would be helpful as you're bleeding. So after we get over the bleeding part, might be 5 to 7 days for most people, we go into the next phase called the follicular phase. During this time, it is when the egg is maturing. It's called the follicle. So if you're trying to make a kid, make a baby, this has to mature before what's called ovulation. The follicular phase is when estrogen will start to increase, and this estrogen will help with your energy levels. Time another hormone that's called progesterone is low, and another hormone called luteinizing hormone is low. It will start to increase later on in the cycle, but again, we're just maturing the egg. This phase is actually good to start to increase your muscle size. So if you are working towards a goal of building muscle, this is a great time to do some high intensity training, HIIT exercises, strength training, circuit training. All these are a perfect time to start doing it during the follicular phase. A few other foods that you can eat that is helpful to, as you're building more estrogen, is to eat more fat-rich foods. Coconut, salmon, and cod, whole fat. Raw milk that has whole fat dairy can be helpful, supporting that estrogen level increase. Another part of the cycle called the luteal phase. The luteal phase is when, this is again after the egg pops out or when ovulation occurs. This is afterwards. Your estrogen starts to decrease. And if you are someone that is taking their BBT, or what's called the basal body temperature, a lot of people who are trying to get pregnant will take their BBT then. This is when your body temperature will start to rise. This progesterone keeps your temperature elevated. So this is a good time for, in terms of your workouts, to make it more low, moderate intensity, maybe some yoga, Pilates, stretching, especially if your energy levels aren't great during this time. And some foods to eat during we're going back to our 28 days. You can eat more nuts and seeds, some dried fruits and berries to help support the upcoming period that's coming. You want to reduce breads or simple carbohydrates or sugar during this time. Again, the high intensity workouts are best during the follicular phase. You're going to have a lot more energy during this time, depending on how you feel during the bleeding phase. So I hope that's helpful for you all to learn about what exercises are optimal during each phase of your cycle.